think that would be meeting with students individually so that you can assess their individual needs. You can discuss things like attendance, grades, their goals, any personal issues that might be interfering with their goals, and you can meet those on an individual basis. You can also contact their parents so you can have communication with home. I think that would be better than classroom guidance. You get the information out quicker, but you can't get that individual feedback. So. Ideally, you would have time to plan and do the needs assessment, communicate with the teachers. You would have time to be proactive instead of always reacting to issues. You would have a plan that incorporated the standards daily, like the teachers have lesson plans. You would kind of have something similar as a counselor. The school staff would know what the counselor did. You would be assigned duties as a counselor that align with the school counseling model and with the standards, so that there would be no problem. At the end of the year, you have your evaluation and you've met all the standards because everybody knew what they were all year long, and you had the time to do that. Ideally, that would be really good.
What would an effective management system look like? Time management, that is. And would your daily activities would that look differently than what your day looks like now?
Yeah. Ideally, time management, you would have a plan for each day, a schedule. It's really hard to have a schedule because it's just hard. So ideally, you would have that schedule. You would know, and things happen, but you would have a plan for that day, and you would have time to do that. You would have time for individual counseling, group counseling, classroom guidance if it was needed, and you'd have time to meet everything that's in your standards, not every day, but something from the standards daily, and not spend time putting out fires. Do a lot of putting out fires. So, did that?
Good.
Okay.
What impact could be made if others, like administration, parents, and community, better understood our role as counselors?
I think that if people understood the counseling role better, there would be more consistency across the board. So obviously it's going to differ elementary to middle to high school. The counseling role differs a little there, obviously, because of the needs of the school. But from one middle school to the next middle school, there should be consistency there. This middle school counseling position should have the same duties as this middle school counseling position. And if everyone knew what the counseling standards were, what the position was intended for, and had that ideal there, then there would be that consistency. So someone coming out of school getting a job, they would know, if I'm in a middle school, this is pretty much what I'm going to be doing for the most part, and it would be easy to follow the standards and be evaluated on those, because people would know this is what you are assigned to do. Whereas generally in the school, things are more geared towards teachers, and the teacher standards, and the principals know what the teaching standards are, and they know how to align that with Common Core, but they aren't as familiar with including the counselor standards into that.
How do you think we can better help them understand what our role is as counselors?
Communicate, make sure that they have a copy of the standards, meet with them, make sure they know what you're doing in the building, what else do they need you to do in the building. If they ask you to do something and it's not part of your standards, sometimes, you have to do what you got to do, but make sure you have time to do what's in your standards, and you're not spending the majority of your time doing stuff that's really not intended for the counselor to do. Make some suggestions of how they might better meet that need without taking your time.
Do you think parents understand what you do as a school counselor?
No.
How do you think we could help educate parents about what school counselors are there for and can do?
It would be good to have, we have PTO or PTA meetings, parent nights, open house, to have the counselor's always here, but parents don't usually come see the counselor. They go see the teachers. But maybe have an information night where the counselor speaks and talks about what the school counselor's role is. You could send a newsletter home, emails to parents, just to let them know what services the counseling office provides.